Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it is time, once again, to grind Jubilee, and to be a little bit sweaty. And as you can see, we have maintained a sweaty rank, top 10. I'm okay with that. I do want to end at 350k, so we do have many, many boss tickets to go through. To fish for, a 1,300 point increase, less than that, but it is neither here nor there. So let's just dive in. Always the same disclaimers: protection gauge units, dark millum, earth millum, light gazzle, and then with the addition of light Rimuru, dark Valentine, trainee. There are units that can give you even more protection gauge now. Second thing is your results may vary because of your box and the units that you have access to. So please just take this as a general strategy video and just, modify it as you need. And then third is don't forget to do your Magicore buildings in town and optimize them for output. That way your team that you're currently trying to run and get a high score on is optimized. So with that said, let's dive into the first fight. Alright, here is the team for Normal 1. It's an Earth team, so I've got Hakuro and I've got Romorus as the support. I've got Windmillum for the alt boost, Carrion for the orb change and his crit buff, Soe for his single target damage, Valentine for her single target damage, and then the hero for the rewind and the guaranteed crits and resistance down. So what you want to do here is you're looking for a double alt with Valentine and Soe, and then multiple Valentine cards. That way you can kill the third mushroom with just normals, because her normals will hit harder than my Benimaru, than my Earth Millum, than my other Earth units. So two single target alts that are going to do decent damage, and then some big time normal attacks from Valentine. So let's go ahead and unpause this and jump in. It's a fairly straightforward, because all the normal battles are 3-turn kills, so they don't take very long, and it's very easy to recognize when the run is not going to go well, so you can reset or you can keep going for tickets, which I probably recommend, because this boss battle does need a little bit of RNG, and you will need to attempt it a few times. So right here, turn 1, we're going to use Carrion's orb change, and then we're going to bring in Valentine for Millum. That way we don't have type disadvantage attacks and we can kill. I mean, we're going to kill regardless, but we're going to send Carrion last. That way we can fully take advantage of not having any loss of weakness damage, that we're only hitting with earth attacks. That does have an impact on your score. So making sure you attempt to hit with all earth units is very important. So right here, we've got a pretty good hand. We've got 4 greens. We've got a rewind that we can come in, so we're going to swap Carrion out, and we're going to just send the 4 greens after the rewind. Because you want to build up points, and you want to build up a little bit of alt gauge, but you don't want to use Hakuro quite yet. And plus, using Hakuro here wouldn't be great, because we have 4 greens, and one of them would not be changed. And you want to make sure that you have a whole hand of oranges. So right here, after the rewind, we're going to use Hakuro now. And we've got a very good hand again. That way we can maximize the points that we're going to gain, the alt gauge that we're going to gain, and here, again, we're going to send the hero last. That way we don't have to hit it with someone who's not an Earth unit. And now we have an alt for Valentine, an alt for Soe, and we've got 100 points and another Hakuro meter going in, which means that we can use all of the buffs that we want to use. So now we got another good hand, because we have nothing but Earth unit cards, which we won't even have to worry about, not hitting weakness damage. So we've used the crit buff now, which means we don't have to use Soe's crit buff, because it's redundant, right? He's already getting guaranteed crits, so not useful. If we've popped Hakuro for the extra points, we're going to pop Windmillum's boost right here, and now we have 30 points that lets us use both Carrion's crit boost and Valentine's magic damage, and then the magic resistance down. So that is the combination of skills you're looking for on turn 3. Again, do not use Soe's crit buff, because you're already guaranteed crits from the hero. So now you got to make sure that, one, you're going to hit the right unit with Valentine's ult, because you want to make sure you're hitting the one with magic resistance down, which in this case is the third mushroom. So we're going to send a couple orbs right here, and then get things low. But remember, you want to kill one of the mushrooms with normals, so that's how we've spread it out now. So we've got 1 and 2, getting them low. Valentine's going to ult the right mushroom for 88k, that's pretty good. Soei's going to nuke the other one for 57k, which he's pretty low. And then crit pierce weak point with Valentine for 12k right there. And that gets us a final score of 39-2, which is, I think, my highest score right now. Just because my Valentine's not 90 or not 100, my Soei is definitely not 100, my Hakura is not 100. So we're missing out just on, the power of dupes. So I'm pretty sure this is the highest score I'm going to get without having to reset a million times. So that's the strategy for normal 1. Earth team, double single targets. You can definitely, if you don't have Soei, you can use Trainee. You could use an AoE and then, buff it all the way up the same way, but then send like one Valentine single target and then the AoE either from Earth Benny or Earth Millum. There are many combinations you can use, but 2 single targets will net you more damage for the weakness score than an AoE. So that's normal 1. Let's move on to normal 2. Okay, here is my team for normal battle 2. We're using the Cabby team, the space team, with Ranga and Valentine to orb change greens, right? So Cabby, Veldora, Ranga, Wind Millum for the buff, Hero for the buff and the rewind, Millum for the DPS, and then Valentine for the orb change as well. It's pretty straightforward, but I did need probably the most amount of RNG on this stage to get an okay run, because this stage loves to not give you greens. I just found that out. Like, the first hand, you have to use Ranga to orb change in a whole hand of greens, and then it's very, very rare for me personally to get more. So this run took a little bit, a lot longer than I would have liked it to, but we got it done. So let's go into the video now. Alright. So here is the fight that I recorded. Not my highest score, but a pretty decent score. So right here, we're going to orb change with Ranga for the full 6 hand of green. We're going to swap Millum out for Millum. That way we have an entire hand of space units. And we're going to make sure that we try not to kill the enemy on the first turn. So I send Millum first, and send my lowest attack unit last, which is the hero, ironically enough. And he lives with the nut tap of health. So here, we're going to rewind. We're going to rewind if there's a big car outside. So this is not a perfect run by any means. There is a way to get triple buffs if you get incredibly lucky on this hand and get all greens on this turn. There is a way. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me. So we have to run with just 2 buffs and Drago, which still gets me an okay score, but it could be better. So right here, we're going to use Cabby, and then we're going to bring in Valentine for an orb change for a 5 hand of green, and pray that we can change those 2 Millums, which we do. So very lucky right there. We're going to send the 5 greens. That'll give us maximum 140 points. Again, if this was a fully optimized run, I would be at 180 points right now on turn 3, and then I could use the space buff, the crit buff, the alt boost, and then the Drago, and then my score would improve. But I don't have enough, so we've used the space boost, we used Drago, and now we're going to use the alt boost here. And we're just going to have to live with it. So turn 3 again is the kill turn. We'll get him down as low as possible, so I take a gamble and I send a Ranga card. He has 9,500 health, so I send the Ranga. He does 7.5, so 2k. And then we ult with Millum for 97,000 damage. Now, again, the run could be better. You could also use a Space Veldora team and pray for that kind of RNG right there. But 39.8 is pretty good, considering my high score right now is 40,000, 40.6, so I'm not too far. I'm only 800 points off. on this run, so it can be good. For my 40.6, I waited until turn 4 on this fight, and I made sure I had enough to use all 3 of the big buffs, and it did increase my score, so that is also something to do, but I wanted to show you what a turn 3 run looked like in the score. That way you know that you can push to turn 4 and maybe improve it a little bit, because of the overkill weakness damage will offset your turn bonus that you lose. So that's normal 2. Let's move on to normal 3 now. Alright, normal battle 3 with the light team, and this is what we're running with. Shizu, Shion, Carrion for the orb change and his crit buff, Rimuru for protection gauge and the pierce resistance, and then the hero for the rewind and crit, and then Leon for the light buff. So one thing to note right now is that Shion and Gazel have their weapons, and everybody else does not. Because we don't want to kill the snake too fast, and because, Shizu's giving pierce to everybody, that means that every one of these units can do a decent amount of damage, even with the snake's guard and defense. So in order to keep it alive for the turn that we're looking for, take all your weapons off these units. Mainline units, support units, they're all empty-handed. They're throwing hands right now. The only person that has weapons right now is Shion and Gazel, your nuker. So that's this is the team. Let's dive in. Alright, normal battle 3 in progress. So guard rate and defense goes up turn 1 for the snake. We also orb change turn 1. And then I'm going to swap out Carrion for Leon to maximize the amount of light damage that we do. Always, keeping in mind the weakness damage. We're going to full send. We have, because of Rimuru, we have almost a full 2 meters, and after this turn is over, we will have 2 full meters of Shizu. That's not entirely what I would consider necessary, but it's definitely helpful, because we're going to get, another one of her, regardless. So, right here we have a good hand, so we're going to orb change with Shion, and then we're going to go ahead and bring in the hero for... Normally it'd be Rimuru, because because I want to keep the light boost on. So we're going to rewind here, use those first, and then use Shizu to get, some extra pierce rate in there. And now we're going to full send again. So right here, we have another good hand, only 1 hero card, but the rest of them are light cards. So we'll do this damage. We've got the rewind, we've got another Shizu meter left over from, our double. And now we've gained another halfway or something like that. So the rewind is here. We have Shion's ult. So that's the important part right here, is that on the initial turn 2, you want at least 3 Shion orbs that will convert, and you'll have a 6-card send of green, because that will guarantee that you get her ult. That way, on the rewind, you can go ahead and use some skills and then send her away. That way she can hold on to it. So right here, what I do is I use the light boost, and I use her own attack boost, but I also use the orb change as well, just for some extra pierce power, right? So orb change, light boost, and then the attack and pierce, which will get us up to 30 or 40% pierce power now, I think. And now we're going to send her away for Carrion, which is unfortunate because it's mostly Carrion hand now, so we're not really going to benefit from weakness damage, but we'll have to make do with it. So we've got another 6-card send. We'll send Leon last, that way he does the most damage. They are almost guaranteed to pierce now, so this is why we took the weapons off our units, so all these 6-card sends, and it's still alive, is kind of important. So turn 3 now, we have 92 points, which is enough. I think we need 85 or something to do everything that I want to do. So we're going to bring Rimuru in for Leon, because we've already used the Leon buff on Shion, so we don't need him. We're going to use the pierce resistance down, and then we're going to bring Shion in for Rimuru, and then we will pop the crit boost, and then the crit rate from the hero. And now we are fully boosted, we have 7 extra points, we've got 110% chance for pierce, so guaranteed for that. Full hand of greens. It only has 9,700 health, so I can't send too much, and on a good run, I would like to have sent 1 Shion orb that'll do 15,000 damage, and then kill it, but didn't really have that opportunity here. So we sent the 2 orbs, use the ult, and our final score is 38-5, which I believe is just a few points shy of my highest score. So this run could have been improved, you know, by having that last Xion orb before the ult. Could have had, you know, more light orbs for Leon on the rewind turn so he could get some extra weakness damage. But that's how this stage works out. Light team, Pierce team, boosting Xion up as much as possible. So now, let's move on to the fun boss battle. Alright, so here is the first of two teams I'm going to show off for boss battle. Only two this time, because I'm not fairly confident in the other ones that I'd recorded, so I'm not going to put them in here. They're not very good teams. They didn't score very well, so I don't think it was absolutely necessary for me to drop them in. But this is the Wind and Space team. We're going to go into boss battle, I think, 3 with this team. And technically, boss battles, like, there is no real hard turn limit. Like, if you go really far, I'm sure it'll drop off. But the biggest factor in this Jubilee for boss battle is damage taken, really. So the less damage you take, the higher your score is going to be. And, you know, by factor of that, the less turns you take, the less damage you will receive. So, I mean, the turn bonus by itself won't drop, but your score will still drop considerably because she likes to nuke and ult a lot, and she has Pierce and Crit, and so you're going to take a decent amount of damage. So killing fast is important. This team I killed on turn 4, I believe, and it's just, you know, your typical Cabby team. You could absolutely run, you know, Veldora instead of Cabby for those extra 10% stacks if you want to. I found this required just a little bit less RNG than that, because I can get ults and I can get points so fast. So definitely you can swap the protectors around. But let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay that I recorded. Okay. So we're starting out, and it's a 3-2-1 spread. 3 blue, 2 green, 1 orange. So we're just going to send the 3 blue, and we're not going to worry about too much. We're not going to orb change at all, because we're going to turn 4, right? And here we get a really good hand, almost, because we get, you know, almost a Valentine hand. We do have another green coming, though. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewind here, and then we're going to bring Millum in, because we're only going to send these 2 oranges, right? We're going to kind of not take full advantage, but I want to make sure. And unfortunately, it was not enough to get Cabby. If we had one more orb, we could have gotten it. But I think I just send the 1 blue, if I remember correctly. So pretty much a gigantic waste of the rewind. If you get much luckier than I did, you can definitely make it work out a lot better. And you could probably have 140 points right now. But here we have the Valentine hand, so we're going to pop Cabby. And then we're going to orb change. And then we're going to be looking pretty good on points and alt gauge for Millum. And Valentine, really. So we're going to just leave it, because it's type neutral. It doesn't really matter who hits them, as long as you nuke with, you know, your DPS. It's going to be okay. So what am I doing right here? I'm bringing the hero in for Valentine. Interesting. And we're bringing Carrion in. Okay, I guess we're going for maximum space attack power right here. It's been a day. Alright, so we're attacking. We've got the ult for everybody now, which is pretty good. Millum is important, though. We've got 140 skill points now. Okay, we're missing an ult on Carrion. That's fine, though. Alright, so there's the crit boost, there's the pierce boost, there's the attack boost. She's going to ult right now, so we're going to take some damage, which is why you want to kill here. Or you can push to turn 5 and just accept that you're going to take an ult to the face if you want more skill points. But I believe, yeah, I just nuke here and I forego the ult boost in the back from Wind Millum. So definitely, like I said, if you got lucky on the rewind and you were already sitting at maximum skill points in a Millum ult, you could have just popped everything and hit her in the back and then brought her in on turn 4 with, you know, all of the buffs. But this works out, 66-7 right here. It's not the greatest score in the world, but it works out, and our final score ends up being 44,005, which is, I believe, a little bit less than what my current score is on Boss Battle 3. Actually, it's a lot less, but there's a team that works a little better, so let's go ahead and show off that light team, because why not? Alright, so this is the team, and we're going to go into Boss Battle EX with this team to show that it works, right? So, light team again, Shizu, Xion, Leon, Rimuru, Hero, and then Daggerel. Obviously, if you don't have all of the units from the light meta, this team won't really work, but you can easily swap Daggerel for Carrion, and it'll still run fine. In fact, it might run a little better with the orb change, because I don't use Daggerel's orb steal at all. And the 20% crit boost, I think, is relatively equivalent to the light resistance down, if not maybe a little bit better. So definitely you could run that, but this is the team that I recorded, so we're going to go with it because it actually got me a very decent score, and I think it's currently my highest score on EX. So if you're using this team and you've just come out of Normal Battle 3, please, for the love of God, remember to re-gear your units, because you're going to need it, right? So Normal 3, I took off all my gear except for Xion and Gazel. Boss Battle, you want to put it back on. So let's get to the gameplay. Alright. So starting out, I believe this is a turn 3 kill for me, if I remember correctly. So these 3 blues combined with Rimuru's trait will get us the Shizu meter turn 2, which is really good. And we have a very good hand right here, which means we can take full advantage of Rimuru and Xion's orb change. Now, we're going to rewind. Oh, it looks like turn 3. Okay, so this is another turn 4 kill then. But we're still going to send it as is, so got a full hand of greens, maximum points, almost another, like, 2 Shizu meters. Xion has her ult, or at least she should have her ult right here. If not very close. Okay, she's like 2/3 the way up there. That's fine. Alright. But now, and we're taking a lot of damage. We're taking a butt ton of damage, right? So you don't want to spend too long in EX. So we're going to light resist down. We're going to light attack up, and then we're going to bring in the hero for Leon, and then use the 30-point rewind. That way we can keep the light boost on Xion, and these 4 oranges will give us her ult, thank the Lord. So, on the rewind... Oh, no, no. We didn't do that. Cancel. Alright, so we're going for 5 greens, which will still give us the ult. And some extra skill points, which is pretty good. So this is what we're going to do here. Again, I don't remember doing this because I had a long night last night. A long night of complete shafting and Dokkan, so my brain is all over the place. Alright, here's the rewind. The light boost is still active. We can go ahead and now pop the attack boost. And... Alright, so pop the attack boost first. Alright, so we're at 40% Pierce Power. And then we're going to swap her out for Daggerel. And then we're going to pop Shizu. Because she already has the Pierce rate on her, it's a little bit lower, but I wanted an extra hand of full greens here rather than 5 and then 1 because I had to swap Xion out. So I thought that would be more useful. So we've got the 6-card send here. Again, it doesn't matter who hits, just send your strongest unit last. And now we've got 2 ults, and I think maximum points, if I remember. Almost max, so 92 points, which is still enough to use everything since we've already began buffing Xion earlier on. So light resistance down on Daggerel. We'll go ahead and swap him out. That way we have, triple ults right here, which you might actually need. I don't know, because especially since I don't have any other Xion cards when I swap her out, I don't have any of that extra DPS. So we're going to crit boost here, and that is literally everything that we can use. And now, I think I take the gamble and send all 3 ults. And I pray that we don't do too much damage, and I think it does work out. So Rimuru does 30.8, which is really good. The hero does a decent amount, and then Xion comes in with 104,000 damage. And that is my current highest score without re-optimizing it at 23.3. So that is Boss Battle EX with a light team, and those are the 2 teams I'm going to show off for Boss Battle. Let me know in the comments what other team that you found worked for you. I was going to try and do like the brand new wind team, but I don't want to because I've told people not to summon on it, and I'm sure it'll work well. But I think the light team, the space team, will just get you more points. I think it'll just be better. So again, let me know what teams you used, if this video helped you out or not. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.